So I'm here with Iraj Gashgaee. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Absolutely,
Uh,
yes.
Iraj is the founder and president of a very interesting product that I came in contact with not too long ago. It's called Just Nuts and Seeds. Background story here is that someone on Facebook asked me about it, and I said, I don't know anything about it. And I think you chimed in and said, let me send you a sample, which was very gracious of you. And I absolutely loved Just Nuts and Seeds. And I
Great.
thought this would be a fantastic interview because I don't think a lot of people are aware of your product. So Just Nuts and Seeds is exactly what it sounds. You take nuts and seeds and you essentially grind them up for people, and you send them people so they can cook with them, put them in smoothies. I have actually used Just Nuts and Seeds together in smoothies. And I think I told you previously, I love your coconut flavor. I've put it in oatmeal. I've actually even used it in my so-called world famous crock pot chili.
Great.
Some people say it's not chili if you add nuts and seeds and other things and sweet potatoes but you know what? Don't knock it till you try it. But your product is really good, and I really thought that you'd be a really good person to bring on the podcast. So, well, basically, I'll stop talking. Iraj, you've got an interesting background. Before we talk about it, you're an engineer,
Yes.
which I find fascinating. How did you find yourself in the nutrition world as an engineer?
Well, I've always had a very healthy life. Starting in high school, when I joined the high school running track, I started using seeds and nuts before I started running. So in the morning, I would throw all these seeds and nuts in a blender with a banana and a glass of milk. I would drink that. Then I would go running. So it seemed like to be helping. I started looking into seeds and nuts more and more and more. And ever since, I've been doing this every single morning
Nice.
and every afternoon before my workout and after workout.
Hmm.
That's how the whole thing started.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you're using raw nuts and seeds. I'm actually, for those of us watching on the video portion, which I'll put on my YouTube channel. So I'm actually holding up one of your products right now, and you're using
Right.
basically it's walnuts, almonds, and these are raw, by the way. Walnuts, raw
Everything is
almonds.
raw, so they contain all their nutritional values. Nothing
Yeah.
is being extracted from them. So I grind them raw as they are without extracting anything.
Yeah, you're not roasting them, which can do away with some of the antioxidant properties, but
Exactly.
it's raw pumpkin seeds, walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and raw flax seeds as well. How did you arrive at this combination of nuts and seeds? Because pistachio is not something I would expect to see in a nuts and seeds product, but you've added them in. Is there a reason why, a method to your madness, if you
Yes.
will? Okay.
I've experimented with them individually. For example, I experimented with walnuts for weeks to see how it feels. I experimented with every single one, and I liked the way I felt when I used walnuts for 2 3 weeks, or when I used just almonds for 2 3 weeks, individual ones. So I picked these because the way they made me feel.
Nice.
And two, then when I combined them together, how they taste.
Hmm.
So it took me a while. And also, when you combine them together and you throw it in a blender, and also I needed to figure out when you put it on a table or put it in your car and drive to work, will it still be drinkable?
Hmm.
Or will they all expand and become so big and gooey that you cannot drink it? Some seeds and nuts are like that.
Yeah,
So I excluded those from my formula.
interesting. And
So I needed to make sure it makes you feel good, and also you can drink it with no trouble.
I can attest to that. I put it in many smoothies and enjoyed the taste, had no problem with it. Again, you come in different flavors. I told you earlier, I especially enjoyed the coconut flavor, but I also do enjoy the regular flavor, non-flavored, if you will, just nuts and seeds together. Getting
As
back to
I
your
mentioned earlier, I'm an engineer.
yes.
So I design, I'm an R&D engineer. I research and develop products. So I work in the lab a lot. So I'm used to running experiments for work. So this was another project for me to run it like an experiment and analyze everything and document everything, then come up with the mixture, as you said, how I came up with the mixture. So I ran a lot of experiments on myself and on the seeds and nuts in the ground state to see how they look, how they feel once you mix them, once you put in the smoothie. So that's how I came up with the items that I have in the mixture right now.
How long did it take you to do all your experiments before you came up with the final product?
I decided to register the company in 2015. Then I started designing my own machines. Seeds and nuts, when they're raw, they have a lot of oil. So you cannot just readily grind them. They turn into a paste. You end up making nut butter, which is, you can do that very easily. So it became a challenge. How do I grind these raw seeds and nuts without turning them into a butter? So it took me a while to develop my own machines and processes. So I had a small machinery for a while. That's when I started running my experiments. For about a year, it took me about a year or so to get the machines up and running, about a year to finish up my experimentation. Then some people kept asking for it. They asked for it more and more and more. Then I decided, maybe I should start selling this. Maybe it's about time for me to start selling. I designed my own packaging. I ordered the packaging, came in. I gave out some samples to people, and people really liked it. That's when I decided to build the website and to start selling, which was in last December.
Wow. So you're a one-man show. You're doing it all.
I am doing everything right now.
Amazing.
And mainly, one of the big reasons is because of the COVID. I don't really want to get other people involved yet.
Right.
So I'm doing all the work myself, filling, packaging, sweeping the floors, everything.
Wow.
And as you've seen in some of the pictures, I have the whole thing designed, set up in a clean room, in a clean environment, where you have to gown up like a pharmaceutical clean room or a semiconductor manufacturing clean room.
Yeah.
So I gown up completely, head to toe, everything covered, and a face mask and goggles when I start processing, grinding, filling, everything.
Wow.
And the product is double bagged in the clean room, meaning the packaging for the product, which is the big package or the small packages. Then these all go into a clear bag. We call that double bagging.
Mm-hmm.
So in the semiconductor or in pharmaceutical industry, this is called double bagging in the clean room. So the inner bag stays clean when it goes into the cardboard. When the customer receives it, only the external bag has been touched by the cardboard, or it may have some cardboard particles on it. Now, when you remove that external bag, your product is all clean.
Yeah.
So that I get that from the semiconductor manufacturing industry, because that's what I do full time. I design machinery, equipment, processes, products for semiconductor manufacturing.
Very intricate manufacturing processing goes into semiconductor manufacturing.
Exactly. That's what I do for living. Yeah. And I've transferred basically the same know-how of processes and manufacturing into this product. To me, it's like a second nature.
Yeah.
So without even thinking about it, everything I've done for grinding the seeds and nuts and packaging them is basically a continuation of my know-how from semiconductor manufacturing rooms, semiconductor manufacturing equipment.
That is fascinating. So you've manufactured your own equipment. You use a bunny suit, because you're in a clean room.
Exactly.
To nullify any kind of contamination, cross-contamination, and you're doing it all yourself. That's
exactly. I wouldn't want to put a product in my system if I don't know where it's manufactured, how it's manufactured.
Right.
So that's why if I'm going to give it to you, that's something I will eat myself.
And I really appreciate that. And I wanted to circle back with the packaging. You would never know by looking at this that this came from your home, essentially. This is a very professional package.
Everything was designed in my own computer right here by my own two hands.
Yeah, and it even has an expiration date. Mine has this, it actually tells the prepared date. Mine was January 19th, 2021, and it has a best used by July 19th, 2021. You don't see that. I don't see that on any product where they tell you when it was prepared. You're telling me the exact date it was prepared. I really appreciated that. That I thought was very unique. And again, it's a very nice package that you would think would come out of a multi-million-dollar conglomerate supplement company, and you're doing it all yourself.
I mean, we grind it fresh per order. So if we receive like 1 or 2 orders today, we will not grind. We'll wait till tomorrow until we have enough orders. So we grind about 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
So we grind, we package the same day we ship out.
That's amazing.
So your product is not ground somewhere in an unknown country, right, from some unknown sources, sitting in a shelf somewhere, God knows how long. That's not the case. I like to grind it fresh and eat it fresh, and that's what I'm giving to my customers.
I think that's fantastic. And I want to touch on something you just mentioned a second ago. This is not made in a foreign country. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on is you are making Just Nuts and Seeds Together in America.
And right here in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
In Marlborough, Massachusetts. And that includes the nuts and seeds as well, correct?
We only buy American grown nuts, seeds and nuts, whether they're California or New York or Oregon grown seeds and nuts.
I think that is really great because we were talking previously, and I said that prior to the pandemic, I would like to take pumpkin seeds, throw them in my blender with my morning smoothie too. But when the pandemic hit, pumpkin seeds went out of business because the vast majority of them come from China. And so when I saw you had pumpkin seeds in this, I was like, wow, you're getting pumpkin seeds from America? You are, aren't you?
They're New York grown or they're Oregon grown, organic.
That is amazing.
Because of the soil, they're very rich. You can see that they're very dark green.
Yes.
And very, very tasty, very rich.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't like to put something in my system as my supplement or my food replacement that I don't know where it came from and how it was processed or manufactured.
Yeah, I'm the same.
That was one of the main reasons. I mean, this is the main reason I prepare all my own food every day. I prepare everything over the weekend for the whole week, for the whole family. Wow. And I do the same thing with my supplement.
That's fantastic. Yeah, in the world of supplements, we don't know what countries the ingredients come from, even though in some supplement websites they'll say, oh, it's made in America, but they don't tell you where
or they say distributed by an American company.
Yes, they get around that. They don't tell you where the ingredients come from, and the vast majority of supplement ingredients these days does appear to come from China.
And you cannot, most of the ingredients you cannot even pronounce. Yeah. So my philosophy is this: if I can't pronounce it, I'm not putting it in my mouth. So
yeah, it's a good philosophy to have. Yeah, I just thought it was fascinating that you're getting nuts and seeds in America, because honestly, we live in a world now where it doesn't seem like America makes a lot of stuff, and you're proof positive that we are making things. And again, I didn't even know we grew. I mean, I knew we had almonds, I knew that, but pumpkin seeds really jumped out at me. I wasn't even aware that we had pumpkin seed manufacturers in America. So there
are a lot of pumpkin seed growers here in America, and they're all organic.
That's fantastic. And
which is more expensive, obviously, than the pumpkin seeds you buy are grown in China.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How long does it take you to manufacture an order? I'm curious, because it sounds like it's very intricate.
To grind, let's say 50 pounds, it will take about an hour to hour and a half.
Okay. That's not bad.
So, yeah, I have set up my medium-sized manufacturing equipment for because I'm a startup. we don't have too many orders.
Right.
So my machines are medium-sized production machinery. I have my larger machines already designed and manufactured. I am in the process of validating those.
Okay.
In the equipment manufacturing world, when a machine is made, to make sure it does what it's supposed to do or what was intended to do, you go through a process called validation and qualification.
Mm-hmm.
It's a V&Q process. So those two big machines are right now going through the V&Q process. I'm grinding with them. I'm grinding different seeds and nuts with them to make sure they do what it's supposed to do, especially the particle size and the cleanliness, which is a big thing. So once I like the results, I'll have those ready for high production.
Okay. And who do you go through for the V&Q process? Is that through
Myself?
Okay. Very good.
I have all my documents.
Yeah.
And I write it up. I know exactly what I'm looking for as an end result.
Right.
From the beginning to the end. Once
Yeah.
I start processing it and I start looking at the product coming out,
Yeah.
and the feel, the taste, the particle size, all of that.
Yeah, and I think people need to realize that as an engineer, you're a very numbers-driven individual. So
Exactly.
so you're going through the science, and you're dotting all your I's, you're crossing all your T's, and
Exactly.
you even mentioned the particle size, which I don't think a lot of people would have keyed in on. So that's and as someone who's tried your product, I can tell you it's a very fine powder. There's no there's no big pieces or chunks in this. It is a very fine powder. And
yeah. So we don't want it to be like a flour.
Right.
So we'll turn into a dough when you're mixing it.
Right. Doesn't do that.
But it's a very fine powder that stays so that you can drink it when you mix it.
Yeah.
So will not turn into a goo, for example, once you mix it with water or milk.
Yeah, and it mixes well. Every time I've tried, again, chili and smoothies and oatmeal, it mixes really, really well. It doesn't paste up or anything like that.
That is one of the criteria for my V&Q, for my validation and qualification of machinery. When it's grinding, is the particle size within a certain range?
Mm-hmm.
And when I mix it with milk or water or even hot water, will it turn into goo or not? Will it still be drinkable? So those are some of the criteria.
Yeah. As an engineer getting into the nutrition world, did you have to jump through any hoops with the FDA or any other agencies or anything like that?
FDA, no, I have not bothered, but I have read a lot of documents for the food and the food industry and allergens. Mm-hmm. I have some certificates online. I took to some courses online for allergy and food cleanliness. Mm-hmm. And food handling. Yeah. So those are the things I have always practiced as common sense myself throughout my life. My house is like a clean room practically. I keep everything like perfectly clean.
I was going to say,
take your shoes off when you come into the house.
I was going to say, for anybody watching us in the video, I'm looking at your office now, and then I'm looking at my office, and your office is immaculate.
Well, this is kind of messy right now because I've been very busy with work.
Not compared to my office, it's not. Nobody wants to buy food from me in my house.
My house, you take your shoes off when you come into the house. You either walk around with your socks or you put your slippers on. Yeah. So everything is perfectly clean throughout the whole house.
Yeah.
And obviously the manufacturing room is a completely separate, very large room, completely isolated from the rest of the house with clean room curtains and clean room doors.
Wow.
So everything inside the room is basically per semiconductor or pharmaceutical manufacturing specification. Wow. So everything is isolated, kept clean inside a clean house. I'm very, very picky when it comes to cleanliness.
Right.
Personally, my personal life.
Sure. How much did it cost to transform part of your house into a food manufacturing room, if you will?
Well, it depends. I guess money is a relative term. Depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
I would say by the time I finished setting up the room with the equipment cost and my R&D cost, again, I'm an engineer. I keep track of everything in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So every penny I spend, everything is already kept track of. So I have everything added up. By the time I released but went live on my website in December, I had spent about 110, 115K.
It's a lot of money. That's an awful lot of money. Yeah. It's a labor of love, I'm sure as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This
So
doesn't include my own time for designing and manufacturing and setting up everything. That's
yeah.
only cost of materials.
Right. Yeah. You put a lot of sweat equity into it. I'm sure that
Yes,
you can't
exactly.
emphasize that. Um, Again, for people who are wondering about, the just nuts and seeds, the nutrition value, high source of polyunsaturated, unsaturated fatty acids, proteins. I know one of the things that with pumpkin seeds that I always think about is pumpkin seeds are a great source of zinc. A lot of people out there, at least in the health world, I literally got a text message last night around 11 o'clock. What do you think of zinc supplements? And I'm like, I'd rather you get it from food. I think food's a better source of zinc than a zinc supplement for most people, but pumpkin seeds are a great source of zinc. You've got flax seeds in this thing, which, there's actually some research on flax seeds that have shown that they can even lower blood pressure in people, which is,
Exactly.
which is
Actually, one of the main reasons I started using the flaxseed is every time I used flax seeds before my workout, I was going right through the roof. People at the gym were asking me, what kind of supplement you taking? You're not like an 18-year-old kid, but you're like flying.
yeah,
Then I realized, wow, it's a flaxseed that was giving me that kind of effect. I
yeah,
just felt so good every time I used just the flaxseeds on its own. So
yeah.
as you asked before, why did I decide to use these items in the mixture? So that's how I came about. Flaxseed actually made me really feel good and energetic.
Mm, that's really good. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the seeds are essentially the whole plant. You plant the dirt, you get the whole plant. So, you get a whole plant in a tiny little seed. So it's a very, very compact source of nutrition. And each of your just nuts and seeds packets looks like it's 1 ounce, so 1.1 ounces. Yeah, you even got it to the 1.1 ounces. It's 30 grams.
30 grams, exactly.
And you
Yes.
actually nailed it, 1.1 ounce, because 28 grams is an ounce, which again goes right to your engineering background, your eye for detail. 1.1 ounces, 30 grams. I normally don't see that level of detail on a nutrition facts label. So that's it's just grabbing my attention right now for the first
That's
time.
my engineering background.
Yeah. But I think that's really neat though, because you're doing your due diligence, you're putting the work in, you're making what I feel is a very quality product, and it comes in different
Thank
flavors.
you.
I said I actually love the coconut flavor, but you've got it looks like you got cinnamon flavor, cinnamon, plain ginger, yeah, and coconut. That's neat. Um,
And those items on their own, cinnamon, ginger, coconut, those have a lot of good nutritional values
they do,
also
they do.
on their own.
Yeah, ginger is very anti-inflammatory. Cinnamon can help lower blood sugar, maybe hemoglobin A1C levels for people with more advanced forms of diabetes. Yeah, so lots of anti-inflammatory and
So
other
those
health.
were the reasons I chose those flavors also.
Really? Okay.
Exactly.
You didn't pick them at random. That's really neat.
Oh no, I did my research.
How about that? That's really neat. What was the biggest surprise for you when you got into this business? Is there anything that jumped out? You said, "Wow, I really wasn't expecting that," or "That surprised me." I'm curious for the entrepreneurs that may be watching us or listening to us right now, and they're thinking of going business for themselves. I get emails from people who want to start their own supplement business from time to time. And is there anything that surprised you or jumped out at you? Or you're like, "Well, I wasn't really expecting that." When you got into this?
Yes, people who are constantly complaining about not eating healthy and wanting to lose weight, but they don't know what it is they need to do.
Mm,
So I send them the samples, I talk with them, and obviously they know me. I am 60 years old,
you don't look
and
it.
I think I look pretty decent for
You
a
do.
60-year-old guy.
I agree.
So, because of my healthy eating habits. And I explain to people what I usually eat during the day or throughout the week and how I do my own food prep. And this is what I use as a supplement. If I don't have time to prepare food, I just take a serving of this, mix it with a glass of milk, and drink it.
Mhm.
Or if I don't feel like drinking coffee at night, it's too late, I just throw a glass of a serving of this in a cup of hot water. I like the ginger flavor for that reason, or the cinnamon, and then just sip on it as a cup of coffee or tea, which is, I'm getting a lot of nutrition and I'm getting a good cup of hot drink that I'm just sipping on.
Right.
So I try to explain that to people. For some reason, they don't get it.
Right.
So that is my difficulty trying to, I guess, educate people.
Mm.
You want to lose weight, you have to eat healthy.
Yeah.
And you have to care about what it is you're putting into your system. Or you may want to look into what it is you're putting into your system. So that is my challenge right now, trying to educate people to eat healthy.
It's a challenge. We in America, we all have computers in our pockets that are more powerful than the computers that took us to the moon.
Exactly. You
And
can
yet
look up very easily everything you want.
and they don't do it. And most people just
They
do not
don't
do
do
it.
it. Exactly.
They don't fact check things. They don't, they accept what some celebrity says is healthy. And never mind that the celebrity is being paid sometimes to say, oh, try this supplement or try this diet. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing that the more convenient things become, the less likely we are to investigate things and to not know what to do.
Exactly.
It's an unfortunate, again, not to get political, but it's an unfortunate aspect of our society. I don't know how we get around that, but I've seen that not just in the nutrition thing, but nutrition world, but in other aspects as well. Again, we all got these smartphones, and just look stuff up. I do it all the time.
Exactly. Yes. It's
Yeah,
very easy to do, but some people don't take that extra step.
yeah,
So I guess my job is to help my customers, to educate my customers. I can only help. That's all I can do.
that's
So
all any
that
of us
it's
can do.
up to them to make a decision whether they want to eat healthy or not.
Yeah. When you present that information to people, hey, there's no shortcuts, you got to eat well. Do you get any pushback from that? Do they say, well, what about this supplement?
Not really, no. And they're convinced that it's natural. They're convinced that the ingredient is exactly what they know. I mean, you've known all your life what
Right.
pumpkin seeds or walnuts or almonds and pistachios are.
Yeah.
So you've known them all your life. You can pronounce them.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to people that it's only raw and nothing has been extracted during the grinding process. So
Yeah.
you're going to get all the nutritional values you could get for practically for a meal. So if you don't have time, don't grab a pizza. Don't grab some fried chicken during lunchtime.
Right.
I first recommend you prepare your food, healthy food at home, bring it to work. But if for some reason you didn't, I say have these single servings with you rather than going to the store and buying pizza or fried chicken or something unhealthy. Just throw this in a cup of milk or a cup of hot water and drink it. That's all you need if you want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
So, and some people are getting it. So that's a big challenge to answer your question.
And you can't beat the nutrition. Nuts and seeds. I thought that nuts and seeds, I never thought they got the credit they deserve, because they're chock full of nutrition
Exactly.
and minerals and healthy fats and protein. We think of protein, got to go to a protein bar or a protein shake.
Exactly.
Nuts are teeming with protein.
I have used those in the past.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. I have used those in the past.
Yeah, we all
All
have.
my life, I was trying to gain weight.
Mm.
So I have used those in the past.
Yeah, we all have. Yeah.
So there are some side effects too to those things.
They can be. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, I have this conversation right now as we speak, starting last night with a distant cousin of mine. I found out she said that she's about 215 pounds and she wants to have a surgery to reduce something size in her stomach so will prevent her from eating a lot. I said, no. Right. I've known few people who have had that surgery. If you don't change your lifestyle You don't change your eating habits. I don't care what kind of surgery you're going to have. You're not going to lose weight.
Right.
You have to start changing your lifestyle. It's not a diet. Don't call it a diet.
Right.
When you call it a diet, it's going to fail.
Right.
Change your lifestyle. Start slowly eating healthy. And I send her a lot of my recipes of what I eat, how I prepare everything. Then I introduce her this. I send her some few bags of this actually. I said, this is what you need to do. I said, every afternoon, 5 or 6 o'clock, no more solid food. Make a veggie smoothie, throw all your, I have it on my website actually, some of these recipes.
Oh, okay.
Just throw some vegetables and fruits of your favorite in a blender, add this for the protein, added protein and good fat, and just drink a glass of that. After that, brush your teeth and floss your teeth. So make brushing and flossing like a religion.
Yes.
5 or 6 o'clock, once you have your smoothie, brush and floss so you will not be snacking on anything. Try that for 2 months and let me know how you feel. Yeah. And I tell her, don't ever let yourself go hungry. Don't go hungry. If I don't have time to prepare food, guess what? I have a milkshake or in a cup of hot water. I drink this so I don't go hungry. People don't eat breakfast because they think that it's going to help them lose weight. That's a big mistake if you ask me.
I agree.
You need to have something good. Every morning, starting in high school, I have a banana shake. 2 bananas, glass of milk, and a serving of this. Before, obviously, I used to throw the whole seeds and nuts in there. It would take a while for everything to break down. But now it's very convenient since I have it all ground up. I just throw a scoop of in there, a scoop of seeds and nuts in there, and I drink it. That's the first thing I do when I wake up every single morning. And I'm not exaggerating.
Right.
Starting in high school up to today, every single morning, about 4:35 a.m., this is what I drink.
Wow.
And it's very filling. I'm not hungry.
No, I agree.
Like 11:30.
Sure. The fats and the proteins in the nuts and seeds are going to slow down your digestion, make you feel fuller longer, while at the same time giving you a lot of natural energy. So that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. I'm very energetic throughout the whole day.
Right.
Lunchtime, I always have a salad. I eat my lunch, my food that I have prepared, whether it's chicken or beef or a lot of vegetables. About, I would say 75% of my diet is vegetables and fruits and seeds and nuts. Yeah, I do eat some beef, some chicken, but I have my lunch and I have my salad immediately after. And on my salad, I always have seeds and nuts for added protein.
Good on salads, yes.
I don't use any of those store-bought salad dressings either. I only use oil and vinegar.
You're eating basically a Mediterranean diet for the most part.
I keep it nice and clean.
What's your favorite smoothie recipe? You mentioned you had some on your website, and I am going to link to it in the episode notes. But
every afternoon, I put mine and my wife's favorite fruits and vegetables in a blender, which I have shown that on my website.
Okay.
And with water, a lot of people, when they make veggie or fruit smoothie, they put in fruit juice.
Yeah.
Store-bought juice in there.
Right.
Or they use frozen fruits. I don't use everything fresh. And in order to get the smoothie flowing, I just add some water. And I add seeds and nuts in there just for the added protein and good fat.
Yeah.
So every afternoon, we have either kale or spinach, carrots, grapes, blueberries. So I use carrots or apple.
Yeah.
And avocado. And I always try to use either watermelon or melon. So when you use some of the juicy fruits or vegetables, they help to get the smoothie flowing.
Yes.
So if you use only things like carrot and apple, they're not that juicy. So it's very difficult to get the smoothie flowing.
Yes.
So grapes, melon, watermelon, they have a lot of juice. They help to get the smoothie flowing.
Yes, I
And
agree.
so those are the vegetables and fruits I use.
Hmm.
Every afternoon, I give my wife one glass and I drink one glass myself. And
Nice.
when she has that at about 6 o'clock or so, she doesn't eat anything after that.
Yeah, yeah, you wouldn't have to. It fills you up. I agree. I use water in my smoothies as well. I don't use milk. I don't use juice. I don't think I've ever used juice, but yeah, just regular water. I do use what, again, we might want to try this yourself. Well, you don't use the frozen foods. I like frozen lima beans in my smoothies, and people look at me funny, but hey, it adds some extra fiber to it. I do like blueberries, but yeah, I've been known to throw lima beans in my blender as well.
Beans are a big part of my diet.
Yeah, beans
So
are
I
good.
make a big pot over the weekend, and kids, myself, my wife. So we use, yeah, beans are a big part of our diet, whether it's fava beans or red beans, black beans,
Mhm.
or lentils, green lentils, red lentils. We eat a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I can't say enough about your product. I think it's really, really a good thing, and I really hope that people will check out your website. How can people get a hold of you? Order Just Nuts and Seeds. What's the best way to get a hold of you? Order it and find out more about what you're doing.
The website is seedsandnutstogether.com, all
Seed,
one word.
seedsandnutstogether.com.
Yes. On the website, then we have information for my Instagram and Facebook. There's phone number and there's an email also. So you can send us a text, send us an email, or send me a message on Facebook. Either way, we'll get back to you immediately.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because within moments of somebody on Facebook asking me about your product, you chimed in. You chimed in, and that's not something you see with the big conglomerates where they hire people, who may be social media people who never answer people on the internet. You chimed in almost immediately,
I
which,
like to treat people the way I like to be treated myself. That's my philosophy.
yeah.
And if I don't put it in my mouth, I'm not going to give it to you. So that's my philosophy too about
It's a
this
good
product.
it's a good philosophy. It's one I think we've lost touch with in the 21st century, where everything is computerized, and sometimes you're even dealing with an artificial intelligence algorithm, when you're
Oh,
doing
yes,
chatting.
exactly.
And I don't like doing that either. I like talking to human beings. And so I really appreciate your customer support. People reaching out to you, or they're reaching you, the CEO and founder of the company, who can best answer their questions. They're not finding some social media person who may be, some other place to answer questions. They're dealing directly with the founder of the
And we're
company.
going to keep it like that. When I call someplace, I get a machine that sends me through loops after loops after loops. I hate that.
So do I. So do
So if people call us, we either answer the phone. If they leave us a message, we will get back to them immediately. A live person, myself or my wife, will get back to them.
That's really neat. That's really, really neat. Yeah.
Even if we become big, we will have a person to
Mhm.
get back. Either if I cannot get back to them, I'll have a live person getting back to people.
Yeah, it's a great product, and I can't speak enough about it. Just Nuts and Seeds Together is definitely something I think everybody needs to be checking out. We live in a world where everybody wants to talk about, oh, what can I do to stay healthy? Nuts and seeds. It don't get any healthier than that. You have the entire plant in a little tiny little nut and seed. So, you want to talk about whole food nutrition, it does not get any wholer than nuts and seeds. And so that's why, again, I'm really excited about your product, and I wish you an
Thank you.
awful lot of success. And I'm going to link to Just Nuts and Seeds Together on the episode notes, along with your Instagram and your Facebook pages, and your phone number as well. So hopefully, people watch this and listen to this on the podcast, and they check you out, because it's a wonderful product. And I can't keep saying, singing your accolades, that it's made in America, including the nuts and seeds, which is unheard of these days.
That is what I'm basically claiming to my customer, that I'm going to help you with
Yeah,
only seeds and nuts that are grown in this country,
yeah,
that there is some kind of a control over the cleanliness of the product.
yeah,
In America, there's control from health department over all food industries,
yes.
and it's ground and packaged right here in Marlborough, Massachusetts, that I am controlling the cleanliness of all of that.
That's amazing.
So you're not getting anything from an unknown location,
Yeah.
everything from this country.
Is there anything you want to leave us today with, any words of wisdom for everybody watching us and listening to us right now?
I guess eat healthy and keep on moving.
Yeah.
You
Can't
have
say-
to move.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a choice. It's a must to eat healthy and to stay healthy, because your body is a gift from the Creator, and you need to treat it as such. And you only get one chance. So you have to eat healthy and you have to keep on moving.
Iraj, thank you very much for your time, and
Thank
have
you,
yourself a great
Joe.
day. And if I could do anything to help you in the future, just let me know.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's stay in touch.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.